Welcome to the Case Insights platform. My name is Angela. I welcome you all to this series called Inheritance Conversations. In this series, we're going to look at all things inheritance, whether it's the authority we pass down to our family members, deeper topics that come with what happens when a patriarch or matriarch dies, how people fight for money and land and other assets, and much more. When death comes to our family, it does not only destroy it, sometimes it's the uncertainty that comes with it that completely shatters everyone. And when someone dies, we expect grief. What we don't expect is suspicion, power shifts, silence, distance. Yet, inheritance changes everything, not because of money, but because of what money represents. Inheritance is practically a power transfer. The moment a parent dies, authority shifts, and that shift is destabilizing. I hope you've all written your wills, because when a patriarch or matriarch dies, it comes with so many problems. Leadership dissolves, decision making becomes unclear, assets move, roles are questioned, and therefore, I think inheritance is not distribution, it is a redistribution of power. And power transitions are rarely smooth without structure. So when leadership dies without a system, you're definitely going to see, in most cases, siblings and other family members competing for position. Now, grief exposes what was hidden. Grief lowers our emotional defenses and it exposes long buried wounds. During life, people will tolerate each other, tolerate relatives. They will only be cognizant of the fact that there's something to come at the end of tolerating all this. So they suppress their emotion, the tension, they smile when they have to, they adjust. But after death, there's no central authority to regulate tension. And therefore, old grievances will surface and you will hear questions of statements like, that one was always favored, or I sacrificed more, or another one will feel I was always ignored. Inheritance becomes the trigger, it's not the cause. Death removes the referee. Imagine a football field. The referee is the one who creates some semblance of order when two teams are at each other's necks. The referee at this point in a family is gone. And without the referee, we have to keep in mind that assets carry emotion. So property is never just property, it carries memory, it carries identity and belonging. When we look at assets, we're looking at land, we're looking at the family home, the business, even small items, heirlooms, knickknacks that you picked up, furniture, a camera that you loved. All these things carry a story. Each asset has its own story. And when those stories feel threatened, people fight harder than the asset is actually worth. This is why families fight over land more than love. Love feels abstract at this point. Land feels more concrete. The house feels more concrete. Everyone wants to take something, whether they need it or not. Now, the problem here is that communication will break down, and silence is a real problem. Most inheritance wars begin long before death, in the silence that families maintain. Especially if your family never has family meetings, you have no shared clarity. You have made private promises to your children, but you've not written them down. And also when there are cultural assumptions, especially in countries where culture precedes all other laws. Parents believe the children will sort it out. And when you make that statement, you have no idea what your children will become when they're left to referee themselves. But the silence creates problem. problems. It creates assumptions. It brings up fears. It brings up private expectations, especially those that have been unmet. Love is not a succession plan. You need to have a clear plan and a will, because your inheritance, or your legacy for that matter, is going to test everybody's identity. And don't think because you've given them a name, your family a name, that that is identity. Everyone's identity is going to be tested, because inheritance is going to force each child to ask, who am I in this family? Especially now. The oldest is going to think, am I still responsible? And all the children normally take responsibility because we pass that task on to them. The youngest is going to ask, am I still protected? The daughter is going to ask, am I recognized? Especially in cultures where girls don't inherit. The son is going to ask, am I entitled? Inheritance is identity redistribution, and that's why it feels personal. You need to say to yourself, inheritance is not just a legal event. And aside from saying it to yourself, you need to act upon it. You have to make inheritance a governance transition. You have to make it an emotional transition. You have to make it a power transition. This position will help your family to avoid conflict. So, this series, we're going to talk about why siblings stop speaking, why families fight more over land than love, how resentment turns into court cases, what could have prevented it, how to restructure or to restore some semblance of order, and when there's conflict, how you can have steps or conflict resolution mechanisms for your family to be able to turn to. If you're still alive, I urge you to lead. If you are part of a family, prepare. But know that if you leave things in limbo, you're going to create so many issues, because inheritance will change everything. The only question is whether it will destroy or define your legacy. I look forward to you joining me on these inheritance conversations. Like, share, subscribe, and if you feel there's a specific topic you'd want us to touch on during this series, please put it in the comment box, and we'll be able to address it, including questions where you need guidance. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you as we delve into this challenging topic called inheritance. Have a pleasant day or evening, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.